Good evening and welcome back to another episode of The Longing, where today we are going to continue to read Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Volume 2. So, let's get going. 35. The Sublime Ones. Calm is the bottom of my sea, who would guess that it hideth droll monsters? Unmoved is my depth, but it sparkleth upon with swimming enigmas and laughters. A sublime one saw I today, a solemn one, a penitent of the spirit. Oh, how my soul laughed at his ugliness! With upraised breast, and like those who draw in their breath, thus did he stand, the sublime one, and in silence. O'erhung with ugly truths, the spoil of his hunting, and rich in torn raiment. Many thorns also hung on him, but I saw no rose. Not yet had he learned laughing and beauty. Gloomy did this hunter return from the forest of knowledge. From the fight with wild beasts returned he home, but even yet a wild beast gazeth out of his seriousness, an unconquered wild beast. As a tiger doth he ever stand, on the point of springing. But I do not like those strained souls. Ungracious is my taste towards all those self-engrossed ones. And ye tell me, friends, that there is to be no dispute about taste and tasting, but all life is a dispute about taste and tasting. Taste, that is weight at the same time, and scales and weigher, and alas for every living thing that would live without dispute about weight and scales and weigher. Should he become weary of his sublimeness, this sublime one, then only will his beauty begin, and then only will I taste him and find him savoury. And only when he turneth away from himself will he o'erleap his own shadow, and verily into his sun. Far too long did he sit in the shade. The cheeks of the penitent of the spirit became pale. He almost starved on his expectations. Contempt is still in his eye, and loathing hideth in his mouth. To be sure, he now resteth, but he hath not yet taken rest in the sunshine. As the ox ought he to do, and his happiness should smell of the earth, and not of contempt for the earth. As a white ox would I like to see him, which, snorting and lowing, walketh before the ploughshare, and his lowing should also lord all that is earthly. Dark is still his countenance, the shadow of his hand danceth upon it. O'ershadowed is still the sense of his eye. His deed itself is still the shadow upon him. His doing obscureth the doer. Not yet hath he overcome his deed. To be sure, I love in him the shoulders of the ox, but now do I want to see also the eye of the angel. Also his hero will he still to unlearn, an exalted one shall he be, and not only a sublime one. The ether itself should raise him, the will-less one. He hath subdued monsters, he hath solved enigmas. But he should also redeem his monsters and enigmas. Into heavenly children should he transform them. As yet hath his knowledge not learned to smile, and to be without jealousy. As yet hath his gushing passion not become calm in beauty. Verily, not in satiety shall his longing cease and disappear, but in beauty. Gracefulness belongeth to the munificence of the magnanimous. His arm across his head, thus should the hero repose, thus should he also surmount his repose. But precisely to the hero is beauty, the hardest thing of all. Unattainable is beauty by all ardent wills. A little more, a little less, precisely this is much here. It is the most here. To stand with relaxed muscles and with unharnessed will, that is the hardest for all of you, ye sublime ones. When power becometh gracious, and ascendeth into the visible, I call such condescension, beauty. And from no one do I want beauty so much as from thee, thou powerful one. Let thy goodness be thy last self-conquest. All evil do I accredit to thee. Therefore do I desire of thee the good. Verily I have often laughed at the weaklings, who think themselves good because they have crippled paws. The virtue of the pillar shalt thou strive after. More beautiful doth it ever become, and more graceful, but internally harder and more sustaining the higher it riseth. Yea, thou sublime one day shalt thou also be beautiful, and hold up the mirror to thine own beauty. Then will thy soul thrill with divine desires, and there will be adoration even in thy vanity. For this is the secret of the soul. When the hero hath abandoned it, then only approacheth it in dreams the superhero. Thus spake Zarathustra. 36. The Land of Culture. Too far did I fly into the future. A horror seized upon me. And when I looked around me, lo, there time was my sole contemporary. Then did I fly backwards, homewards, and always faster. Thus did I come unto you, ye present-day men, and into the land of culture. For the first time brought I and I to see you, and good desire. Verily, with longing in my heart did I come. But how did it turn out with me? Although so alarmed, I had yet to laugh. Never did mine eye see anything so motley coloured. I laughed and laughed, while my foot still trembled, and my heart as well. Here, forsooth, is the home of all the paint-pots, said I. With 50 patches painted on faces and limbs, so sat ye there to mine astonishment, ye present-day men, and with 50 mirrors around you, which flattered your play of colours and repeated it. Verily, ye could wear no better masks, ye present-day men, than your own faces. Who could recognize you? Written all over with the characters of the past, and these characters also pencilled over with new characters, thus have ye concealed yourselves well from all deciphers. And though one be a trier of the reins, who still believeth that ye have reins, out of colours ye seem to be baked, and out of glued scraps. All times and peoples gaze divers coloured out of your veils. All customs and beliefs speak divers coloured out of your gestures. He who would strip you of veils and wrappers, and paints and gestures, would just have enough left to scare the crows. Verily, I myself am the scared crow that once saw you naked and without paint, and I flew away when the skeleton ogled at me. Rather would I be a day labourer in the netherworld, and among the shades of the bygone, fatter and fuller than ye are forsooth the nether-worldlings. This, yea this, is bitterness to my bowels, that I can neither endure you naked nor clothed, ye present-day men. All that is unhomelike in the future, and whatever maketh strayed birds shiver, is verily more homelike and familiar than your reality. For thus speak ye, real are we wholly, and without faith and superstition. Thus do ye plume yourselves, alas, even without plumes. Indeed, how would ye be able to believe, ye divers coloured ones? Ye who are pictures of all that hath ever been believed. Perambulating refutations are ye, of belief itself, and a dislocation of all thought, untrustworthy ones. Thus do I call you, ye real ones. All periods prate against one another in your spirits, and the dreams and pratings of all periods were even realer than your awakeness. Untruthful are ye, therefore do ye lack belief. But he who had to create had always his presaging dreams and astral premonitions, and believed in believing. Half-open doors are ye, at which grave diggers wait, and this is your reality. Everything deserveth to perish. Alas, how ye stand there before me, ye unfruitful ones, how lean your ribs, and many of you surely have had knowledge thereof. Many a one hath said, There hath surely a god filched something from me secretly whilst I slept. Verily enough to make a girl for himself therefrom. And with that, we're going to come to the end of the reading, and also the end of the episode. It's fairly well timed. We seem to have a pretty good rhythm for 10 pages in the Thus Spoke Zarathustra book so far. So I'm going to say thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon or night. No matter what time of day it is, I hope you all have a wonderful one of it. And as always, we will be back tomorrow for more of The Longing. Goodbye.